Hey guys, thanks for coming back. Well, today it's a cold day in New England. I'm making my world famous beef stew using the Ninja Foodi. Yeah, it's not the world famous, but it's my world famous. This is my world, my YouTube world. Stick around. All right, so for the first thing, we're gonna grab the meat. Now I cut everything into cubes, about 1 inch to 2-inch cube. The meat a little bit bigger because it's going to shrink a little bit. We have potatoes, carrots, some celery, garlic, onion, a little bit of broth, and some other seasoning that we'll go through as we assemble this bad boy. So first thing we're going to do is season the meat here. I've got the Ninja Foodi on sear, so it's getting nice and hot in there. And some salt. You want to go a little lighter on the salt because we can always add later. So just going to add a little bit here. And I've got probably about 1.5 pounds to 1.75 pounds of this of the beef here. This is a round. I cut into cubes, about this size. I trimmed off all the big fat, anything that I didn't want to keep on there. So now I'm going to add some olive oil to the pan here. Let's make sure it's hot. Perfect. So just going to get it all in there. Now, if you have a lot of meat, you definitely don't want to overcrowd the pan. Otherwise, you won't get that sear. So I might do this in 2 batches. You can flour the meat first. I'm going to flour it as we go. Definitely going to flour the vegetables to help thicken the sauce. I'm going to do it in 2 batches here, so I don't want to overcrowd that. So I'll let this cook a little bit. Wash my hands. All right. And it's going to sear up pretty quick because this foodie gets pretty warm fast. I mean, look at that. Look at the color in that. It looks really good. So you can see it from the top here. So I'm just going to give it a flip. And we're not looking to cook it all the way through. We're just looking to sear the outsides. And by searing it, we're going to lock in the flavors. It already smells awesome. So I'm going to finish searing the meat, and then I'll bring you back for the next step, which is going to be the vegetable. All right, so now I'm just pulling out the remaining pieces here, and you can see the beautiful color on them. Nice and dark. Again, not cooked all the way through. So they're going to continue to cook when we put everything together. Okay. So we're just going to pull these out and set them aside for a little bit while we get to the vegetables. Okay, get this last one. And all those little bits in there, going to bring all that flavor out. Add a little bit more olive oil here. Okay, so we're going to get the carrots in there. I'm going to drain my potatoes. I've had them soaking in some water so they don't turn color. Okay, so get the potatoes in there too. Okay, going to give it a little stir in here. And because it's a stew, you can get everything in there. Everybody gets into the pool together. Got some garlic. Get that in there too. And I'll leave a list of all the ingredients in the description section of the video, so you can check it all out there. I'll have all the measurements for you. So we're going to add a little bit more salt for the vegetables. And some pepper. You can always add more later, so it's not a big deal. So the next thing is I'm going to get some flour on it. Now you can use cornstarch too. So I'm going to add probably a couple of tablespoons of flour. Work everything together here. Make sure everything gets nicely coated. And you can see how it's just capturing all that flour. Everything's getting coated and getting kind of sticky and clumpy. That's perfect. That's perfect. Let that go a little bit longer. I'm going to get some of this tomato paste in there, maybe about a teaspoon or so. This is going to give it a nice, rich flavor. And stir it all in. Get everything coated nicely. So let's get the meat in there too now. So, and I'm letting all the juices just run right in because that's just going to add more flavor. Get that all, oh, it smells awesome. It smells great, great. All right. I'm going to pour in some of this chicken broth that I made when I made my last chicken. So we're going to pour that on. And you want to basically just get enough in there to cover everything up. So this container is probably a couple of cups worth. This is a 3 cup. So I'm going to add probably another cup worth of the broth here. This is the bone broth. Give it a little shake. Make sure all those pieces, incorporate. And again, I'm just trying to cover it up. I don't want to make a soup. So probably, just about like that. Get a couple of bay leaves in there too. Get those in there. The other thing I like to add is this Better Than Bouillon roast beef base. It's a reduction of the roast beef flavors, like a gravy reduced into like a paste. So I'm going to get about that much in there. And this is pretty potent, very, very strong flavored. So that's going to add a lot of good flavor to it. And the last thing, little Worcestershire sauce. Give it a couple of dabs like that, just to bring out some more flavors. All right. So now we're just going to give it a quick stir. We want to make sure that we release all the bits from the bottom. Now they'll release over time anyway, as this thing comes up to a boil and just simmers. So we'll let this cook for a couple hours. And cover it up. So now I'm going to bring it up to a boil. Once it boils for about 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to lower it to a low or medium and let it sit for a couple hours until everything is cooked through. And I'll bring you back when it's time to give it a taste and see how I did. So the beef stew now has been kind of cooking away for a couple hours, 2.5 hours almost. And I'm just pulling out the last bay leaf here. All right, give it a good stir. And you can see that it's gotten really thick, really nice. You want to make sure that the potatoes and the carrots are pretty tender. And now I've already tested it. I mean, you can see how it just breaks apart. So the potatoes are good. I know the carrots are good. I had one a little earlier. We're going to add a little bit more of the black pepper, just because I like it that way. You don't have to add that if you don't want to. And some more salt, just to freshen it up a little bit more. I also toasted up some bread here. This is some nice loaf of bread. You can get sourdough, works well. Just put it into my air fryer for a couple of minutes just to get it nice and crispy, because you need something to dip into the sauce. So let's get some into the bowl here. And look at the actual stew. I mean, that's beautiful, beautiful. Now I'm just going to add another little touch here. This is just some Parmesan cheese, Parmigiano Reggiano, just a little bit on the top, like that. I grab this one here, nice and toasted. It's got a nice crust. This is a French loaf. Look at that. Ooh, eat these all day long, nice and warm. And let's give it a little dip into the sauce here, into the actual stew. Oh, that's really good. So let's give this meat a taste here. You can see from the top here, just you can cut it with a spoon. I mean, that's how soft it is. So it's definitely cooked all the way through. So I'm going to grab a carrot, piece of meat, and a little bit of that potato. Got to blow on it. This thing's still piping hot. Really good. Really good. This is what I'm having today on a cold New England day. Nice beef stew with some root vegetables in there. So I hope you enjoyed my recipe. I hope you enjoyed the video. I had a little fun here. If you liked it, give me some thumbs up, some comments. Share it out. It helps the channel grow. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.